Uncover massive waves of innovation, how innovation rewrites our world.
Discover how 5 major technological shifts are transforming everything around us, from how we travel to how we stay healthy. Learn how to spot these changes and embrace them for incredible new opportunities.
Uncover massive waves of innovation like AI and digital assets. We break down how experts identify groundbreaking companies and share simple methods to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Unlock your future potential.
Hello, curious minds, and welcome to a brand new exploration into the future. I'm Jamie, and with me, as always, is our fantastic co-host, Alex.
Hey, Jamie, and hey, everyone. I'm ready to dive into whatever incredible topic we have today, but I have a feeling it's gonna be a big one. Lately, it feels like the world is changing at lightning speed. One day, you hear about self-driving cars, the next, it's robots that can dance, and then suddenly digital money is everywhere. It's exciting, but honestly, it can also feel a bit overwhelming.
Absolutely, Alex. And that feeling is exactly what we're going to explore today. We're talking about the incredible forces that are reshaping our world, not just in tiny steps, but in giant leaps. Think of it like a powerful, exciting wave on the ocean. Some people might be caught off guard, but if you learn how to spot it, you can ride it to amazing new shores.
A wave, I like that. So we're talking about these big sweeping changes. What exactly are these waves you're referring to, Jamie?
Great question. We're really talking about what we call disruptive innovation. These are groundbreaking technologies that don't just improve old things, they create entirely new ways of doing things, changing industries and even daily life in unexpected ways. Imagine a world before electricity. Life was one way. Then, boom, electricity comes along, and suddenly you have lights, refrigerators, factories, everything is transformed.
Wow, that's a huge change. So how do you even begin to spot something like that? It must be like trying to predict the future, right?
It's less about predicting and more about understanding the patterns and potential. We look at what we call 5 innovation platforms that are converging, meaning they're coming together and boosting each other's power. These are things like robotics, energy storage, think advanced batteries, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and multi-omic sequencing.
Multi-what now? That last one sounds super complicated.
It does. Let's break it down. For now, just think of these 5 as different types of super-powered tools in a futuristic workshop. And what's really cool is that when you combine these tools, they can build things we couldn't even dream of before.
Okay, so it's like having a set of special Lego bricks, and instead of just building a simple house, you can now build a spaceship or a whole city. And these 5 are the most important types of bricks?
Exactly, Alex. You've got it. And to know which of these new Lego bricks are truly going to change the world, we follow a simple but powerful idea, almost like a secret recipe for spotting innovation. It's called Wright's Law.
Wright's Law? What's that? Is it like a rule for inventors?
You could say that. Think of it like this. Imagine you're learning to bake cookies for the very first time. Your first batch might take a long time. You might make mistakes, and the ingredients might seem expensive because you're buying them in small amounts. But the more you bake, the faster you get, right? You find tricks, you buy ingredients in bulk, and suddenly baking cookies becomes much easier and cheaper.
Yeah, that makes sense. Practice makes perfect and also more efficient.
That's precisely it. Wright's Law helps us understand how a new technology improves and becomes cheaper the more it's produced or used. It's like a learning curve for innovation. The faster the costs drop, the more widely that technology can spread.
So if something is getting cheaper and easier to make, it's a good sign that it's going to be a big deal?
Yes, that's the first part. We look for technologies where the cost of doing something, whether it's making a robot or processing data, is declining quickly. The second part is that these technologies need to spread across many different areas. If your super fast, cheap cookies are only good for one specific type of party, they won't change the world. But if everyone wants them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then that's a different story.
So it can't just be a niche thing. It has to be useful almost everywhere?
Exactly. These innovations cut across all sorts of industries. And the third, and perhaps most exciting part, is that these technologies act as launching pads for new ideas. Just like those cookies might inspire new desserts, a breakthrough technology sparks even more new technologies. For example, understanding DNA sequencing was crucial before we could even dream of something like CRISPR gene editing. One innovation builds on another.
So Wright's Law is like a three-part test. Is it getting cheaper? Is it useful in lots of places? And does it inspire even more new inventions? That's really clever.
It truly is. And when we apply this recipe to the 5 innovation platforms we mentioned, one rises to the top as a true game changer. Artificial intelligence, or AI.
AI, that's the one I hear about constantly. It feels like a genie has been let out of the bottle. But what is AI really, and how is it doing all these things?
Think of AI as the ultimate super smart helper, or even a master chef's secret ingredient that enhances every dish. It's not just about fancy robots, though they're part of it. AI is about teaching computers to learn, reason, and solve problems in ways that used to only be possible for humans. It can sort through mountains of information, find patterns, and make predictions much faster than we ever could.
So it's like giving our tools a brain?
Precisely. And when you combine that brain power with, say, robotics and energy storage, you get incredibly powerful applications. Take something like autonomous mobility. For most of history, if you wanted to go somewhere, you either walked, rode an animal, or drove a car yourself. Now imagine a world where your car could drive itself, pick people up, and even earn money for you while you're not using it.
You mean like a self-driving taxi that belongs to me? That sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
It's happening sooner than many realize. Companies are working on what we call robotaxis, essentially cars that can operate completely by themselves. This isn't just about convenience, it dramatically reduces the cost of transportation. And because it's so cheap, more people will use it, leading to a massive shift in how we move around.
Wait, so my car could become a money-making helper? Like a super-trained dog that drives itself around?
A fantastic analogy, Alex. And this idea extends beyond just cars on the ground. Think about eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, essentially quiet electric flying vehicles that could act like air taxis or delivery drones.
Flying cars? So like the Jetsons are finally real?
Getting there. And then there's another frontier that combines AI, robotics, and energy storage, humanoid robots, robots that look and move like people. We're talking about machines that could help in factories, hospitals, or even our homes, doing tasks that are currently done by humans.
That sounds amazing, but also a little unsettling. What does that mean for jobs? If robots can do everything, what will people do?
That's a natural and important concern. History shows us that while new technologies disrupt some jobs, they also create entirely new ones we can't even imagine yet. Think about the internet. It wiped out certain jobs, but created countless new ones, from app developers to social media managers. The key here is to be on the right side of change.
Right side of change? What does that mean in practice?
It means embracing curiosity, continuous learning, and creativity. Instead of fearing the robot, think about how you can work with it or design the next generation of robots. It's about developing inherently human skills, things like empathy, problem-solving new situations, and imagining things that have never existed. Just like someone who adapts their garden to grow new, exciting plants, we need to adapt our skills for the changing landscape.
So it's like learning new rules for a new game, or even inventing a new game ourselves.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about how these innovations are completely transforming another critical area. Remember that complex term, multi-omic sequencing? This is where it shines.
Ah, yes, the multi-what's-it. How does that connect to AI and making us healthier?
Imagine your body has a huge, incredibly complex instruction manual. Multi-omic sequencing is like being able to read and understand every single page of that manual, your DNA, your RNA, your proteins, at an incredibly detailed level. When you combine this deep understanding with AI's ability to process vast amounts of data, we can spot tiny typos or errors in that manual much earlier.
So it's like catching a tiny crack in a pipe before it bursts and causes a flood.
That's a perfect analogy. This means we can diagnose diseases like cancer at stage 1 or even before, when they are much easier to treat. This is a profound shift from reacting to illness to proactively preventing or curing it.
That's incredible. And then there's CRISPR gene editing. Is that like a super precise repair kit?
Precisely. Once we use multi-omic sequencing and AI to identify those typos in the body's instruction manual, CRISPR gene editing is the editing tool that can go in and correct them. We're seeing breakthroughs in curing previously incurable diseases, like sickle cell disease, with a single treatment. It's a convergence of technologies allowing us to literally reprogram health.
That's incredible. And then there's CRISPR gene editing. That's truly revolutionary.
It is. Now, let's switch gears to another one of our innovation platforms, blockchain technology, which powers what we call digital assets, like Bitcoin.
Bitcoin? That's another one I hear a lot about. It feels like internet money, but I don't really get how it works or why it's so important.
Think of Bitcoin and other digital assets as a completely new kind of money and a new way to own things digitally, native to the internet itself. Imagine if, instead of a traditional bank or government controlling your money, it was managed by a global network of computers following strict rules. No single person or entity can
Awesome!